What do you got on there, Kevin? A lot of people are asking.
Well, I'm featuring two. I've got, let's go vintage Jag Kutra, and this is vintage, which I love because it has 2 time zones. Flip it over, and there's a different watch completely, both into, I love this kind of stuff. And then just to tease you, because I knew I was coming here, I've got the puzzle, which is the little Rolex puzzle. I don't know how many there are in the world. That's Abu Dhabi time. So I've got Toronto time, LA time, Abu Dhabi time. That's what I'm talking about, baby. I'm talking about time zones here. And of course, these are both fantastic pieces. And mostly I wear red bands, but I thought just to tease you with this puzzle. I mean, that's...
I'm going to come over and have a look.
You're never even going to get to touch this watch. You'll never see this watch again.
I'm going to come over and have a piece. I have a quick look. I got to get Wonder Care myself, I guess. On
you do. You absolutely do.
I saw someone in the chat. You know, one thing that I think you need to look into, Wonder Bread. I mean, if you took that over, then it would be completely...
No, actually, it's Wonder Bra. That's what my wife said.
Okay, let's go bang. There it is. Bang, bang. All right, we're having fun. We're having fun now. Kevin, I did want to bring up a good point because I thought you made an excellent one there about why are you buying an ETF? Why are you paying that 2%? Why are you paying a management fee when it comes to crypto? And I just have WonderFi up right now today. Up 16% today, WonderFi. May 8th, WonderFi reported 4.9 net income revenue. Great move there. And then, of course, the BitBuy and Bitstamp of Canadian clients. So again, WonderFi having a great day today. Look, what can help a lot of us buy some of those watches, and apparently maybe if we ever get a chance, would be great calls on sectors. When you were here back in 2020, you made a great call, and I have the chart up right here. You talked about XOM, and I'm never going to forget about this. Down here, $30, $34, when, of course, oil actually went negative. You know, good move back up to the upside. Is there anything you're looking at right now? I know that some of the Canadian banks are depressed, maybe too early there. Any sort of sector right now besides crypto that you're looking at?
Well, Canadian banks are a must-hold for Canadians. They go through volatility. There's obviously a big tax change today. We've got to talk about that. There's some issues around it.
Right.
I think the anticipation globally about Canada, because I spent a lot of time in Abu Dhabi, as you know, is they're awaiting regime change here. This is a very investable country. Unfortunately, currently uninvestable because you can't get anything done here on large infrastructure or resource-based projects. But there's an anticipation that there's going to be a change in Canada in the next 18, 24 months, whatever, and that this place will be very investable. So I've sort of started, even though we've got a change in tax, the natural resource sector in Canada is a huge opportunity. And so how do you service that? Well, you do that with the Canadian banks. So, you know, owning Canadian banks anytime there's a sell-off is a smart move for any Canadian. And you can say, oh, I like this bank over that bank, yada, yada, woof, woof, woof. You might as well just index them and just own them all because at any one time, it's an oligopoly. These guys are the best run financial institutions in the world. You know, I want to do a shout out for them. They've done a hell of a job during volatile periods. They are highly regulated. They're very well managed. And for me, the XFN, I guess, is the ETF up in Canada that owns them all, financial services. It's a good way to put on a 5-6% weighting in Canadian banks. And I tell every American investor I have, they say, what's the best way I can invest in Canada right now? Buy the banks. Buy the banks. Get that div, get that cash every month, and just own the Canadian banks because they will never, like some of the US banks on the regionals, go to zero. There's going to be a lot of zeros in those regional banks over the next 36 months as they slowly default on commercial real estate. You can be safe on a Canadian bank. So, you know, they're having some rough days, but they're getting beaten up a little bit. But you can't go wrong with a Canadian bank.
Right. We do like that cash flow coming through there. And again, I looked at the XFN as like basically exactly as you mentioned there. It's not doing too bad. If we come over to the screen right now, XFN above the 200 period and trying to get back to the 50. So I think you might be right on there, Kevin. And I do agree with you with that hot CPI print this morning. It looks like we will not get to refinance our mortgages anytime soon as the rate.
Meanwhile, you stick your cash in the bank and you're getting your 5.1%. You know, what's wrong with that? And that's we're not going to have any more rate cuts. That ain't going to happen in Canada, not after today's print. And that first one was a mistake. And so that's going to hurt on housing.